Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. Doubleheader. Minnesota Twins at Washington Senators. The doubleheader, the last games on the schedule of May 1st. Second of a 3-game set. Minnesota comes in at 8-2, a half a game behind the Orioles in the American League. Washington at 6-6, only 3.5 out. And hello, Kenyon, and welcome. Good to have you. It's Friday, TGIF. We got two very fine left-handers on the mound today. Jim Cott for Minnesota, Pete Rickert for Washington. Cott won 25 games, of course, in 66 with a 2.75 ERA. Rickert 14-14 at 3.37. Both were strikeout pitchers. I want to focus on Rickert here for a moment. This guy, in my opinion, a very underrated pitcher. Okay, and mostly because his career record was 80-73, but he had a career ERA of 3.19 over 1,166 innings, 925 Ks. He only allowed 959 hits, so let's put that in per game numbers. 7.4 hits per 9 innings with 7.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. This guy could pitch, okay? I saw him pitch when he came to the Dodgers in 1972 after Baltimore had converted him to a reliever, and that was after they acquired him from Washington. I went to a spring training game, the Freeway Series, where the Dodgers and Angels always play in their home parks to wrap up spring training. That was the first time I saw Pete Rickert. And from the moment he entered the game, it was obvious that he was the hardest thrower on the staff. And they had a pretty good pitching staff. So let's look at the numbers for the replay for these guys. Cott comes in 0-0. He's made 2 starts with a 3.86 ERA over 16 1/3 innings. 17 hits allowed, 14 strikeouts. Rickert 1-3 in 4 starts, 4.97 on the season, 25 1/3 innings, 24 hits, 20 strikeouts. So 2 good lefties on the mound. And I also want to shout out a thanks to Bob. I won't mention his last name because I'm not certain he would want me to. Call it paranoia or whatever. I mean, obviously I don't put my last name on the internet. And maybe I'm overly paranoid. But anyway, Bob, to get to the point, Bob sent me an email. Attached was this marvelous, I'm trying to think of the word. It's a score sheet. It's a modified. That's the word I want. A modified score sheet. Look how beautiful this thing is. Plenty of room for your lineups. You've got much more space for the fielding ratings. There's even a column for running rating, which I didn't use primarily out of habit. But that could come in handy. And then the pitching thing is beautiful. It's moved the visitor pitcher over here, so now you have 6 lines for pitchers. Still plenty of room for extra innings. I mean, this is amazing. I love it. So a shout out to Bob. And a welcome to Franklin, Gerald, and Jack Brooks. And there's Joel Horland. Nice score sheet alteration. I actually use 1 score sheet per team. I'm not sure what that means, Joel. You use one, so you're using 2 score sheets for each game and flipping them? Is that what you mean? Flipping them each half inning. Gerald wants to see some runs. And Jack says, welcome from a very sunny but very cold Long Island. The temperature actually reached 40. We're having a heat wave. Oh yeah, I was out today. It's I can't see it right now. It wasn't bad. Still gloomy and overcast. The thing is, it's windy. It would be very pleasant here without the wind, but the wind chill makes it a little cool. I had to go out and get, can you guess? Cat food, of course. So let's get to the lineups here and we'll start the game. I'm not sure I'll play 2 today, but I might. Depends how I feel after the first game. For Minnesota, leading off Zoilo Versailles. Cesar Tovar will bat second. Tony Oliva in the customary 3 spot. Harmon Killebrew hits cleanup. Bob Allison in the 5 spot. Andy Costco will be at first base today. Earl Batty back in the lineup at catcher. He's been out a few games. We've missed Earl. Here's Bernie Allen at second base hitting 8th. Jim Cott bats 9th. For Washington, it'll be Fred Valentine leading off. Ed Brinkman bats second. Ken McMullen in the 3 hole. Frank Howard in the cleanup spot. John Orsino will be at first base today. He's represented by this nameless card, which actually fits his card pretty well against lefties. Ken Hamlin hits 6th. Don Locke in the 7 spot. Doug Camilli, the catcher, will hit 8th. Rickert batting 9th will set Washington defensively for you as they take the field. Doug Camilli catching Rickert. The infield, Orsino at first. Hamlin at second. Brinkman at short. Ken McMullen at third. The outfield left to right of Howard, Locke, and Valentine. The umpire shouts, "Play ball." Pete Rickert's ready to go, and in steps Zoilo Versailles. Zoilo comes into the game batting .222. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Rickert now, the sign from Camilli. And here's the first pitch of the game. The 6-3 to the right-hander, grounded to the pitcher X. Rickert a 2E28. So right off the bat, we're to the X chart, and here's the roll on the play. That's a 14. That'll be the error rating. A 10 on a 28, and Rickert makes the play. So 1-3X, Versailles is retired. And here's Cesar Tovar. Tovar hasn't played much yet this season. He's been in just 3 games. 3 at-bats, he's 0 for 3. He didn't walk once. He struck out once. He scored a run somehow. He must have pinch ran for somebody. Anyway, he's 0 for 3. He did walk once, excuse me. 0 for 3, 1 walk, 1 run scored. Tovar will be starting in center field the second game of the doubleheader as well. And if we look at his card, 465 at-bats, it's safe to say that Tovar will be playing more frequently from this point on. Jack, I don't remember that. Oh man, I'm sorry. Rickert, the pitch to Tovar. That's going to be a 4-12 to the right-hander, and that's going to be a single. Tovar a week. 4-12 and a home run. It's at 14. And Tovar will settle for a long single to left. Tovar with good speed. Star 17, 15 runner. Let's check the battery. Rickert a -1, Camilli 0. So 16, they'll have to hold him on. He'll still be 1-14. As Tony Oliva comes to bat. Oliva comes in at .275, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Left on left now as Rickert gets the sign, and from the stretch, the pitch to Oliva, a 3-4, grounder to second base. That's going to be Hamlin. His only play is to first, and Tovar will take second on the play. 2 down, runner in scoring position, and here's big Harmon Killebrew. He leads the team, hitting .361, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. So Killebrew trying to pick up Tovar. Rickert trying to get out of the inning, and here's the pitch. It's a 6-4 to the right-hander. Third base X ground ball, that's McMullen. McMullen a 3E24, and here's the roll on the play. It's an 18. McMullen has it, throws him out, and that'll retire the side. So 5-3X, down goes Killebrew, down go the Twins. No hits or run, one left. We go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Just getting started here. I wonder if that commercial's on YouTube, Jack. Sometimes I like to look at old commercials on YouTube. One of my favorites was the Italian Opera Rice Krispies commercial. How many of you remember that one? It had a pretty short running time. Cott getting ready to work now. Fred Valentine will lead things off for the Senators. He comes in hitting 300, 12 for 40. 4 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Both figures lead the ball club. Cott, left-handed pitcher, so Valentine, the switch hitter, will be batting right-handed. Cott with the windup, and here's the pitch on a 1-6. Base hit into right field. Valentine pokes it the other way. And he's aboard with the leadoff single. And Valentine with blazing speed. Let's check the battery for Minnesota now. Cott a -1, Batty is 0, so 16. They'll have to hold him on. He'll still be a 1-14. And he's going to try for the lead. Brinkman not a strong batter. 3 through 6 is what he needs. 7 he does not get it. And here's the next pitch to Brinkman. Brinkman comes in hitting just .213. 1 homer, though, and 6 RBIs. From the stretch of 4-3 right-handed, it's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Costco. Costco a 4E30. Ranges to his right. Here's the play on a 1. He's not going to get that. Single 2 stars. And Valentine scoots into third. Just like that, the Senators have runners at the corners and nobody out. Brinkman a star 15, -114. He'll have to be held on, making him a 1-12. And here's Ken McMullen. McMullen hitting just .220, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Let's see here. How are they going to play this? Early, they'll be back. Double play depth for McMullen. Caught from the stretch. Here's the pitch to McMullen. It's a 4-10 right-handed fly to center field X. That's Tovar. A 3E2. Tovar ranging to the gap. Here's the roll on the play. On a 5, he can't get it. That's 2 single 2 stars and a run will score. So 3 consecutive hits for Washington against Cott. An RBI single for McMullen. Valentine in to score. Brinkman rounds second and goes into third. And it's 1-0 Washington. Here's Big Frank Howard now. Howard, the leading hitter on Washington, comes in at 370. Interestingly, no home runs and only 4 RBIs out of Big Frank so far. So Washington has certainly used some more production out of Howard. Infield double play depth, caught from the stretch. Pitch to Frank Howard, a 6-8, fly to left field. That's going to be playable for Allison, but it'll also be deep enough for Brinkman to tag up and score. And it's 2-0 on the sacrifice fly. Howard picks up an RBI, and that's the first out of the inning. Here's Orsino now. Orsino comes in at, believe it or not, 375. He's 3 for 8. He hasn't played much. No RBIs. Orsino batting right-handed. And I should point out that this nameless card is only good for Orsino against left-handed pitchers. So should Minnesota bring in a righty, he will be replaced. From the stretch, the pitch to Orsino is a 6-10, a grounder to third base X. That's Killebrew. Killebrew a 4E24. And here's the roll on the play. It's going to be a 3. He's not going to get it. Single 2 stars. So the defense for Minnesota has let up a few of these hits here. McMullen scoots into third. And runners at the corners again. Still only 1 down now. And here's Ken Hamlin. Hamlin, the second baseman. He comes in at 250. That's 5 for 20. No home runs, 1 RBI. Double play depth. Caught in a real jam here. He's already given up 4 hits this inning. And here's the pitch to Hamlin. 4-7 right-handed. Single on a 1, on an 8. It's a grounder to first base B, and that means another run's going to come in. That's going to be a force. That'll go 3-6. Orsino forced. McMullen scores. And that'll be a ribby for Hamlin. 3-0 Senators. 2 down, and here's Don Locke. Locke comes in just 176. Does not have an RBI yet. Caught from the stretch now. The pitch to Locke. 3-3. Grounder to short. Versailles has it. He'll go the short way to Allen, and that will retire the side. But Washington plates 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave a man. After 1 inning of play, 3-0 Washington. And Franklin, yeah, it was, how about a nice Hawaiian punch, right? How about a nice Hawaiian? My dad used to say that to me, and I'd say yes, and he'd pop me in the shoulder. I got wise to that pretty quickly. He didn't hit me hard. I just want to, clarify that. 3-0 Senators. As we go to the second inning, it'll be Allison, Costco, and Batty for the Twins. Allison comes in 0 for 12 on the season. Looking for his first hit. Pete Rickard gets the sign from Camille now. The pitch to Bob Allison at 2-6. He struck him out. And Allison still searching for his first hit of the young season. He's 0 for 13. Pretty good card, too, especially against lefties. 8 home runs and 168 at bats, 348 on base, 411 slugging. And like I say, most of the damage against left-handed pitching. Here's Costco now playing the first base. Costco hasn't played much. He's just 2 for 12 so far. No RBIs. Rickard into his windup now. The pitch to Costco. A 112 left-handed. Pops it up. Hamlin calling. He's got it 2 away. And that'll bring up Earl Batty. Batty's been missing from the lineup the last few games. He comes in hitting .227, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. Rickard gets the sign from Camille now. Here's the pitch, a 211 left-handed, tapper down to first. Orsino will take it himself, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rickard. So Rickard looking very sharp in the early going. Caught not so much so. So Cott will try to get squared away here for the bottom of the second inning. Camille, Rickard, and Valentine do. Camille just 229, 8 for 35. He's got 1 homer, 3 RBIs. Caught the big lefty into his windup. The pitch to Camille. It's a 3-4 left-handed. Pops him up. Left side. Killebrew under it. 1 away. Here's Rickard now. Left-handed batter. 2, but with end power. Left on left now. Here's Cott's pitch. A 6-11 tapper down to short. Versailles has it. Throws across 2 down. So Cott looking much better already in the second. And here's Fred Valentine. Singled and scored his first time up. Batting right-handed. Caught the windup and the pitch. Is a 4-7 right-handed. Single on a 1. On a 9, that'll be a grounder taken by Costco. He'll take it to the bag himself, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cott, who's settled down nicely after a rocky first. We played 2 here in the nation's capital, and it's Senators 3, Twins nothing. Anyone smell an upset in the making here? I certainly do. And Franklin, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. I know I promised never to sing again. God damn it, I'm blowing it. Bad Steve, never do that. Do you remember when the Wienermobile would come around to your local supermarket and hand out the wiener whistles? I used to have one of those. I'll bet those could be a collectible now. I don't know. I'll have to make a note to myself to look up that on eBay. The Oscar Mayer wiener whistle. Okay, enough of that. On to the third. It's Bernie Allen to lead off for Minnesota. Allen hitting .270. No homers, 6 RBIs. Left on left now. Here's Rickard's pitch. That's a 110 left-handed, and that's ripped into the right center gap. That's going to be down for extra bases. It'll roll to the wall. Allen in with a stand-up double. And that'll bring up Cott. Cott, a good hitting pitcher. Cott also an amazing fielding pitcher. He won numerous consecutive Gold Glove awards for his position. What was it, 16 or something in a row? One of you guys maybe help me out with that. I think Cott and Brooks Robinson have the longest Gold Glove streaks in history. Anyway, Cott, a left-handed batter, 6 hitting card with N power. Left on left here. The pitch from Rickard. A 1-9, and he walks him. Ball 4. Cott works out the walk. And Minnesota's in business here in the third. First and second, nobody out. Top of the order coming up. And it's Zoilo Versailles. Versailles tapped back to the mound his first time up. Infield at double play depth. Here's the pitch. 3-8 to the left-hander, and he walks him to load the bases. So suddenly it's Rickard that's struggling with his control. Caught down to second, Allen will take third. And Minnesota has loaded the bases with nobody out. And here's Tovar. He singled his first time up. .1E14. That's not too bad. Rickard's a 28. A lot of these pitchers have really high error ratings. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Tovar. Rickard in a real jam here now as he comes set, the full windup. Pitch to Tovar, a 6-10 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. Oh my, what a huge strikeout that is for Pete Rickard. And with one away, Tony Oliva will be the hitter. Oliva, a marvelous card. Not quite as good against lefties, of course. I should say much better against righties. Real life 307, 25 home runs. Left on left now, bases loaded, 1 out, infield at double play depth. Here's the windup. The pitch to Tony O is a 4-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. Oh my God, some clutch pitching by Pete Rickard with the bases loaded and nobody out. He whiffs Tovar and Oliva. He's still got to get through Harmon Killebrew. Killebrew standing in now, waving that bat around, right-handed batter. Rickard the windup. The pitch to Killebrew, a 3-7. Tapper down to short. Versailles, sorry, not Versailles. Brinkman has it. Short way to Hamlin. And Rickard pitches out of the jam. How about that? With the bases loaded and nobody out, the Twins fail to score. Some clutch pitching from Pete Rickard. Oh my, that was fun. And greetings, Tony Rivera. Is that Philly Tony? Do I have that right? Holy crap, Kenyon. He's a 1E50? Yeah, the errors are just, I don't know. It's really not fair for the pitchers, I don't think. They get so few chances and make a couple of errors, and it blows up their card. And thank you, Gerald. 16 for both. I thought so. Hey, I finally got one right. Brinkman, McMullen, and Howard due for the Senators. Thanks to some clutch pitching by Rickard in the top of the inning, they still have a 3-0 lead. Caught now into his windup. That's a 1-8 left-handed. Pops him up. Versailles is calling for it. He'll take it one away. Here's Ken McMullen now. Singled, drove in a run, and came around to score in the first. Caught the sign from Batty. Pitch to McMullen, a 5-4 right-handed fly to center field. Shallow. Tovar coming on now. Just does catch up with it and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Oh, and Tony, thank you. That's cool. Hey, it's good to know you're still listening, man. Here's Frank Howard now. Sacrifice fly in the first. Caught into the windup. Pitched to Big Frank, a 5-4 right-handed. Same roll. Fly to center, shallow. Tovar coming in again. He's used to it now. Gets there quickly this time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rickard. For Cott, rather. Excuse me. Get your head in the game, Steve. 1-2-3 for Cott, who's now retired 8 in a row after a rocky start. We've played 3 in Washington. It's Senators 3, Twins nothing. Allison, Costco, and Batty due for Minnesota as we move along to the 4th inning. Allison's still looking for his first hit of the season. He struck out in the second. Rickard into the windup now. The pitch to Allison, a 4-5 right-handed, swung on and missed strike 3, and Rickard gets him again. So Allison apparently thinks it's still spring training. He's now 0 for 14 on the young season. And that'll bring up Andy Costco. Pop to second his first time up. Rickard, the sign from Camille. The pitch, a 2-10 left-handed fly to left field, playable for Frank Howard. 2 away. Here's Earl Batty now. Batty, the captain of those great Minnesota teams of the 60s. 0 for 1 today. Rickard's the windup. Pitch to Batty on a 2-7. He pops him up right side. Hamlin calling for it. He'll take it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rickard. So Pete Rickard looking very sharp today. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Orsino, Hamlin, and Locke due for Washington. Orsino singled in the second. Right-handed hitter. Caught into the windup now. It's a 3-4 pop-up left side. Versailles is under it. 1 down. And here's Hamlin. Hamlin 0 for 1 today. Hit into a force play to first. He did knock in a run in that 3-run first inning for Washington. Cott gets the sign from Batty now. Here's the pitch to Hamlin. It's a 6-6 right-handed. A double to 5. On a 10, it'll be a long single for Ken Hamlin. So Hamlin with a base hit. No threat to steal. And here comes Don Locke. Cott gets his sign, now working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Locke. 1-9 left-handed, and he walks him, ball 4. Hamlin takes second. It's first and second, 1 away. And here's Doug Camilli, the catcher. Double play depth for Minnesota. Caught from the stretch. The pitch to Camilli. That's a 1-8 left-handed. Grounder to short. This is going to be 2. It's going to be Versailles to Allen to Costco. And that will retire the side. So a nice double play there, Versailles and Allen. No runs ahead, a man left. We've played 4. 3-0 Senators. Pete Rickard getting set to work the 5th. Minnesota will send up Bernie Allen, Cott, and Zoilo Versailles. Versailles, I think, was a 65 World Series star. Did he have a good series in 65? Or am I imagining that? And absolutely, Mike. Yeah, I remember Rickard as a reliever. Absolutely. He had a fine career. I was going over his numbers at the start of the stream. Here's Allen now. Doubled his first time up. Left on left as Rickard comes set. It's a 110 double into right center again. It's going to be another leadoff double for Bernie Allen. So Allen, the only player on Minnesota so far to have solved Rickard. He has 2 doubles today. And here comes Jim Cott. There you go. He was the MVP in 65. Did he have a good World Series, though? I was wondering that as well. Cott, left-handed hitter now. Rickard into the lineup. It's a 2-10 base hit for Cott. An open single to center. Allen can try to score on that. Locke's a -2, however. Allen a 12-10. He'll hold up. And Minnesota's in business here in the 5th. Runners at the corners and nobody out. And the top of the order coming up. Rickard got on a jam in the 3rd inning, but he pitched his way out of it. Here's Versailles now, 1 for 2 today. Rickard stares in. Here's the pitch to Zoilo. 3-8 left-handed. He walks him to load the bases. So just like the 3rd inning, Rickard has loaded the bases with nobody out. Can he pitch out of it again, or is that asking too much? As in steps Cesar Tovar. Tovar's 1 for 2 today. Infield at double play depth now. Senators leading 3-0, but the Twins have loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 5th. Rickard, full windup now. The pitch to Tovar, a 6-10, swung on and missed strike 3. So just like last time after he loaded the bases, he strikes out Tovar. Here's Oliva. Came up in the same situation in the 3rd and struck out. He's 0 for 2. Rickert, the windup. Pitch to Oliva, a 1-6, not this time. Double to 12 on a 6. That's in there for a 2-star double. 2 runs are going to come in. Allen will score. Cott will score. And it's a 3-2 ball game on a 2-run double by Tony Oliva. Versailles will hold up at third. And here's Killebrew now. Only 1 out. Washington will pull the infield in now, leading 3-2. Runners at second and third. Rickert gets the sign from Camille now. The pitch to Harmon Killebrew, a 3-8. Fly to center field, B ? Center field is lock, a -2. Versailles can try to tag up. He's a 17, 19, -2, 17. He's going to tag up and try to score. Here he comes. He's safe. Sack fly Killebrew. We got a tie ball game. Versailles in to score. 3-3. Runner on second, 2 down, and here's Bob Allison. Allison. Where is Allison again now? 12. He's now 0 for 14 on the young season. Struck out twice against Rickert so far. Rickert into the windup. The pitch to Allison, a 4-4 right-handed. Fly to center field X. That's going to be a lock, a 2E9. Lock, ranging back to the track now. On a 14, makes a running overhead catch to retire the side. So Allison now 0 for 15, but the Twins come up with 3 runs to tie it on 3 hits, and they leave a man. And we got ourselves a ball game. Here's Jim Cott now. Rickert to lead off. Bottom of the 5th, he's going to bat. Left-handed hitter. Pitch from Cott on a 2-7. Struck him out. Nice, Kenyon. Thank you. Kenyon posting Zoilo Versailles 1965 World Series numbers. 833 OPS. That'll get it done. I mean, I was 9 years old then, so what can I tell you? I don't remember it. I've read about it. Here's Fred Valentine with 1 away, batting right-handed. The pitch from Cott, a 4-7, single to 1. That's going to be taken by Costco at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and there's quickly 2 away in the 5th. And that'll bring up Eddie Brinkman. Steady Eddie, 1 for 2. Caught with the delivery, 3-7 left-handed, single to 11 on a 7. That's in there for a base hit. So Brinkman aboard with a 2-out single, and he's 2 for 3 today. He'll have to be held on as well. 1 through 12 held. And here's Ken McMullen. Two down, runner on first. Runner held. Caught from the stretch. 4-7 right-handed. That's going to be the single 1. Grounder to first base. Costco has it. He'll take it to the bag, and that will retire the side. No runs to hit, 1 left. We're through 5 in a 3-3 tie. Thank you, Franklin. Absolutely, yes. The first Washington Senators, the first incarnation of the Washington Senators, moved to Minnesota. These Senators became the Rangers. And now they have a third incarnation, of course, the Nationals. I always say it's funny they've gotten 3 chances at a major league team. Portland, Oregon, 0. And I think they could support it. Maybe Tampa Bay should move to Portland. They don't seem to be able to put anybody in the seats, even for a playoff game. Okay, to the 6th we go. It's Costco, Batty, and Allen for Minnesota. Costco 0 for 2 today. Rickard into the windup. It's a 3-7 left-handed single to 13, but on 18, that liner's going to find the glove of Eddie Brinkman. And Costco is retired. And that'll bring up Earl Batty, 0 for 2 so far. Rickard, the sign from Camille now. The pitch to Batty, a 1-6 left-handed. That's a base hit right up the middle. And Batty is aboard with a 1-out single. Batty actually is 16, but he'd have to roll a 3. -1 for Rickard, 15. What the heck? Let's try it. See if he can roll a 4. Nope, no lead for Batty, and here's Bernie Allen. Left on left, Allen 2 for 2, both doubles. Pair of doubles off of Rickard. Rickard from the stretch. Pitch to Bernie Allen, a 3-11. Foul ball behind the plate. Camille back, drops the mask. Makes the catch 2 away. And that'll bring up Cott. By the book, probably a pinch hitting situation. But you guys know me by now. These guys are battling. It's a tie ball game. I'm going to let these starting pitchers battle as long as they can. Caught a pretty good hitter anyway. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. Rickard's pitch. Left on left, a 3-8. He struck him out. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, 1 left. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Still 3-3. And Franklin says Tampa can go anywhere. And for you guys that don't know Franklin, most of you do, I'm sure, he lives there. So that speaks, it says a mouthful. Here's Howard, Orsino, and Hamlin now for Washington. Caught into the windup. Big Frank 0 for 1 today. The windup and the pitch. 3-7 left-handed, a tapper to short. Versailles has it. Takes his time. Throws Big Frank out, 1 away. Orsino, the first baseman, 1 for 2 today. Caught into the windup now. Pitch to the right-hander, a 4-12, and he walks him, ball 4. Orsino will take first on the base on balls, and here's Ken Hamlin now, 1 for 2 today. Right-handed hitting second baseman, caught the sign from Batty. Now, from the stretch, 4-3 right-handed, that's first base X. That's going to be Costco, a 4E30. Always an adventure. And here's the roll on the play. On an 11 E rating, a 9 on a 30. Oh yeah, he boots it. Error Costco. Orsino takes second. Error Minnesota. First and second, 1 away. And the batter will be Don Locke. Locke, a pretty damn good card to be batting 176 coming into the game. He's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Cott gets his sign now from the stretch. Pitch to Locke, 6'11", right-hander, grounder down to third. Killebrew has it to Allen, to first, not in time. So that'll be a force play. Hamlin is forced. Orsino takes third, and there's 2 away. And it'll be up to Doug Camilli. Camilli, the catcher, 0 for 2 in the game so far. Caught staring in now from the stretch. The pitch to Camilli, a 2-8, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll retire the side. So Camilli fans, of course, we ignore the injuries since I'm using the as-played lineups. The injuries are built in. No runs, no hits. They leave a pair. We've played 6 in a 3-3 tie. I'm going to take a short break and use the facilities, refill my cup, and I'll be right with you. And we are back. I gotta tell you, I went in there and the cat is sleeping in the bathtub. Oh, that's interesting, Franklin. I'd forgotten you were from Baltimore. Retired in Florida, I assume. The minor league soccer club, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The only Tampa team I support. To the 7th we go. Top of the order due for Minnesota in a 3-3 ball game. Rickert, the sign from Camilli now. Zoilo Versailles standing in. Here's the windup on the pitch to Zoilo, a 6'3" right-handed grounder to the pitcher X. That's a 2E28. Rickert. Here's the roll on the play. 14, the error rating. That's a 5. That's usually trouble. And he boots it. One base error, Rickert. So E1, Versailles aboard. First error for Washington. Each team committed 1 error so far. Versailles is a star 15. He'll have to be held on. That makes him a 12. And here's Tovar, 1 for 3. Struck out his last 2 times up. Rickert now from the stretch. 1-8 to the left-hander. Grounder back to Rickert. Rickert turns and fires down to Hamlin to first, not in time. That will be a force play. So a 1-4 force. And Tovar's at first, and he'll have to be held on. He's a 14 held. In a tough ball game, he's going to try for the lead. 2 through 5. 6, no lead for Tovar. And here's Oliva, 1 for 3, a big 2-run double in the 5th. Left on left now, Rickert from the stretch. A pitch to Tony O, a 4-6 left-handed, swung on and missed strike 3. Oliva goes down on strikes for the second time today. 2 away, and the batter will be Killebrew. Killebrew 0 for 2 today. Drove in a run with a sac fly in the 5th. Rickert getting his sign from the stretch. That's a 3-8 left-handed fly to center field. Locke backing up on it now. He's got it, and that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, they leave a man. And as we stretch for the 7th inning, it's a 3-3 ball game. I assume most of you guys are retired. Well, a couple aren't. A couple are, at least 2 I know are drivers and listen while they drive around. But they do have some interesting stats on YouTube, and I can tell you, of the people that have watched my streams, not a single one is under the age of 55. That pretty much says it all as far as Strat-O-Matic and baseball in general are concerned. Did you know the average age of a Major League Baseball fan is 57? Yeah, I read that somewhere. Bottom of the 7th now. Do we let Rickert bat in the bottom of the 7th? Holy cow, the book says definitely not. Whew. That's a tough one. Let's see what Washington has in the pen. Yeah, as much as I hate to do it, they've really got a hit here in a tie ball game. Part of the reasoning here, in my mind anyway, is they're Minnesota coming in at 8-2. Washington's clearly the underdog in this game. They did not use a pinch hitter in real life. They certainly have a lot of left-handers on the bench. So that's a pretty easy choice. It's going to be Bob Savarin, the switch hitter. I have a little less room down here for pinch hitters now. But then, how many pinch hitters do I really use? Mostly for the pitcher, and really not that many, so it'll be fine. Here's Savarin now. He's a switch hitter. I'm looking for his stats in the season. He's 2 for 8 so far on the season, does not have an RBI. Savarin, switch hitter, batting right against Cott. That's a 5-6 to the righty. Triple on a 1. That's going to be a single for Savarin. So Savarin comes through with a leadoff single. No threat to steal, but he's a fine 1 through 15 base runner. And here's Valentine now. Caught an S8 as far as endurance goes, so no worries about that here in the 7th. Valentine 1 for 3 so far. Caught from the stretch. Pitch to Valentine, 5-7 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed, strike three. Oh my goodness, what a pitch by Cott. Valentine down on strikes, one away, and here's Eddie Brinkman. Brinkman's 2 for 3 so far today. And Dan Douglas can testify. Greetings, by the way, Dan, and welcome. So I'm guessing you know that for a fact, Dan, because you don't qualify or didn't list your age. You're either under 55, didn't list your age, or put in a false age, right? It has to be one of the three. Yeah, and I'm not at all surprised it's not 100% accurate. Caught from the stretch. Pitch to Brinkman, 1-7 left-handed. Grounder to short, that's going to be 2. Versailles to Allen to Costco, double play. Boy, that's a rally killer. No runs to hit, no one left. Savarin erased. We played 7 in a 3-3 ball game. And Casey Cox will come on now for Washington. He pitched in this game in real life. I wonder if you're the only one under, Dan. Not that it matters, it's just a number. But boy, howdy, we sure need some younger baseball fans. Don't we? Rickert went 7 innings. Allowed 6 hits. 3 runs. He walked 3 and struck out 3, 4, 5, 7. So a nice game by Rickert. And here's Casey Cox now, the right-hander. What's he done in the replay? He's been in 2 ball games, 2 2/3 innings. He's 0-1. With a 6.75 ERA. The card's better than that, obviously. Bob Allison will lead things off, still looking for his first hit of the season. Dan says, by how much? Well, just under, I'm guessing. Jack has no doubt that he's the oldest one here. Well, Jack, I'd have to guess then that you remember the 66 season. I have just vague, spotty memories. I wasn't even 10 yet on May 1st, 66, although that is my birth month. Allison, 0 for 15 on the season, 0 for 3 today, K'd twice, but that was against Rickert. Cox, the right-hander, now staring in. The pitch to Bob Allison, a 1-3. Base hit into center field, and how about that? And the teammates are going to get the ball. They're making fun of Allison a little bit. And you can't really blame them. Allison a star 20, by the way. Cox a +3, so he's an 18 held. Holy cow, he's going to try for the lead. He has to get a 5. He'd be an 18, and he's got a 5, and here he goes. And here's the throw from Camille. 20, he's out! Oh, my God. A bullet fired down by Camille, and Costco is hung out to dry. I'm sorry, did I say Costco? Allison is hung out to dry. And here's the next pitch to Costco. 2-7 right-handed fly to center. Locks right there. So 2 down, and oh my, what a throw by Camille. To nail Allison trying to steal. 1 through 18, and the roll was a 20. And here's Earl Batty now, 1 for 3 today. Caught staring in. Here's the windup. Pitch to Batty. 3-4 right-handed. Tapper down to second. Hamlin charging it. Turns and throws in time. So 1 hit, no runs, nobody left on, and it's still a 3-3 ball game. Wow, and Jack purchased the first Strat-O-Matic the year it came out. Well, then I have a question. Were the cards... I always pictured the first set of cards as being kind of crude in their appearance in the first year. Financial reasons and whatnot. I know a little bit of the story. Richmond had to borrow some money to start the company. Jack was 13 and used his allowance for about 2 months to pay for it. That's awesome. That's the story of the day as far as I'm concerned. So here's Cott seemingly outpitched by Rickert. And yet Cott's still in the game and Rickert's gone. And Washington will send up the heart of the order. McMullen, Howard, and Orsino in the bottom of the 8th now. McMullen 1 for 3 today. Caught the sign from Batty. Here's the pitch. 4-8 right-handed. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes McMullen. And for Cott now, that's what, 4? 4 Ks for Cott. And that'll bring up Big Frank Howard. Howard 0 for 2. Caught the sign from Batty. "5-2 right-handed. Tapper to short. Versailles on it. Throws him out 2 down quickly. And John Orsino will be the batter. Caught into the windup. Pitch to Orsino. 5-4 left-handed. Pops it up. Right side. Allen under it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Cott. We've played 8. And Washington is probably, I'm looking to replace Orsino at this point. I normally get these nameless cards out of the game. Not that Chance is much better. He's a little better, but he'll come in at first. So Bob Chance takes over at first. A 4E30. Well, it's better than a 5E25 anyway. So Orsino's out of the game. And we go to the 9th. Cox coming out for his second inning of work. I'm reading the chat now. Jack remembers very well the 1960 World Series. Well, and the cards were actually better quality. And of course, the 60 series, I only know from history, of course, the big Mazeroski home run. One of the most famous moments, I'd have to think, in World Series history. Bernie Allen will lead it off for the Twins. Casey Cox gets the sign. Allen's 2 for 3 today. The righty delivers. 3-4. Base hit for Bernie Allen. And Allen's hot today. 3 for 4. He's on with a leadoff single here in the top of the 9th. Not a threat to steal. And now the Twins will go to the bench. Caught a D bunter. I was thinking momentarily about having him lay it down and keep him in the ball game. but better judgment prevailed. Let's see who would come in for Minnesota. He'd be facing right-handed batters. They're going to go to their closer, Al Worthington. I almost went to write it down over there on the right side. So Al Worthington minus his dog Spot getting loose. And the Twins will send up a pinch hitter against Casey Cox, and that'll be Jimmy Hall coming off the bench. So Hall, a left-handed batter, so far on the season, let's look at his numbers here. He's hitting .357, 10 for 28, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. So one of the Twins' best performers so far, comes off the bench in a pinch-hitting role. Runner on first, nobody out. Runner not held. Cox from the stretch now. The pitch to Hall, 3-3. Grounder to second, and that's going to be 2. Hamlin has it, throws to Brinkman, on to first, double play. Holy cow, what a play. For some reason, I really had the feeling, you know how you get a gut feeling in this game sometimes? I really had the feeling that Hall was going to do something there. So 2 outs, base is empty, and here's Versailles. 0 for 2, walked twice. Cox into the windup. Pitch to Zoilo, 5-3 right-handed, pitcher's card X, a 4E13. Here's the play. On a 12 E rating, a 6 on a 13, and Cox makes the play. 1-3X, side retired. We go to the bottom of the 9th in a tie ball game. And here's Worthington now. 2.46 in real life in 91 innings. What has he done in the replay? He's 1-0 with a save over 4 ball games, an ERA high of 6 innings of work. I've noticed since I've been passing along the stats, a lot of these good relievers have very bad numbers in a very small sample size so far. Hamlin, Locke, and Camille. Sounds like a law firm coming to bat here in the bottom of the 9th. Ken Hamlin, 1 for 3 today. Worthington ready to work now. The pitch to Hamlin. 3-7 right-handed, a grounder to short. Versailles has it. Throws him out, 1 down. And they'll bring up Don Locke. 0 for 2 with a walk today. I'm smelling extra innings here. Worthington, the pitch to Locke, 3-6, struck him out. 2 down quickly, and it'll be Camille. Camille's 0 for 3 today. Worthington the windup. Pitch to Camille, a 6-6 right-handed fly to center, hanging up there for Tovar. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Worthington, and we're going to extra innings. Holy cow, what a ball game. Catching up on some of the chat now. This is very interesting. I remember Street and Smith's baseball, Jack. That may have been where I saw it. It was in a magazine. And I remember the split cards. When I first got the set, one of the cards had a little scuff on the end from perforating them. And it was the one, the number 1. And I was playing a friend of mine, and he says, "I'm stealing home." And he pulls up the 1. Well, he admitted later that he knew it was the 1. Because it was at a slight marking on the back side of the card. Of course, at the time, I'm thinking, what a bunch of BS. Right. 15-year-old kid or what have you. Let's see, 1970 cards, 14-year-old. Cox, a 2-rated endurance. He'll come out for his 3rd inning of work, but they're going to watch him closely, as Minnesota will send up Tovar, Oliva, and Killebrew. Closer and lefty, Ron Klein throwing. And he's joined by the righty, Bob Humphreys, down in the Washington pen. And here's Tovar to lead off the 10th inning. Tovar 1 for 4 today. The pitch from Cox, 3-6 right-handed, fly into center. Playable for Locke, he's got it, 1 down. Here's Tony O now, 1 for 4. Awesome side of his card against the right-hander. The 1 for 4 was against Rickert. Cox pitch, a 6-7 to the lefty. Second base X, that's going to be Hamlin. Hamlin, a 3E34. Oh, wow, and here's the roll. On a 20, Hamlin's got it. Throws him out, 2 down. So nice play, Hamlin. 4-3X, Oliva is retired, and with 2 down, the batter will be Killebrew. Killebrew, the Minnesota leader in most offensive categories, including nose hair. And here's the wide up at the 6 for Cox. 1-3, Tapper to first. Chance has it. He'll take it himself, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cox, and that'll certainly be his last inning of work, as he's due to lead off the bottom of the inning. So still 3-3. Worthington will come out for his 2nd inning of work. Cox will give way to a pinch hitter. And that's going to be Jim King. King, left-handed hitting right fielder. Comes into the game. He hasn't played much, hitting .250, just 3 for 12, but 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. Now I'm making sure we can still see the cards. Oh yeah, we're good. Here we go. Worthington against King. Worthington gets the sign from Batty now. Here's the pitch to Jim King. It's a 2-8. High fly ball to deep right field. Back goes Oliva to the track, to the wall. It's gone. Jim King has just won the game with a pinch hit home run in the bottom of the 10th. And oh my God, the crowd is going absolutely wild. Let's take another look at it. 2-8 right-handed, homer to 9. On a 9, he barely scrapes it over the fence. Holy crap, Jim King walks it off in the 10th inning with his 3rd home run of the season. 4-3, the final. Cox, 3 innings of relief, picks up the win. He allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no Ks. Interesting line for Cox. Worthington 1+, 1 hit, and boy, it was a big one. Home run by King. Caught in his 8 innings, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, 3 runs early and nothing after that. He walked 2 and struck out 4. So Worthington takes the loss. Let's check the records now. Worthington evens his record at 1-1. Cox with the win evens his record at 1-1. So it's even Steven. And thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Oh my God, what a great ball game. Washington 4 runs on 8 hits. They made an error. Minnesota 3 runs on 8 hits. They made an error. So a very closely fought contest. And the final from Washington, the Senators edged the Twins 4-3 in 10 innings. And they improved to 7-6. And hell, they climbed to within, hang on a second here. Now I don't remember what I said before. Washington climbs to within 3 games of Baltimore. Minnesota with the loss drops a full game back. And I am going to try to play the second game this afternoon. Probably not at 3. I need more time to get something to eat. I'm thinking around 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll come on with the second game of the doubleheader. It's all set up. It's Mudcat Grant for the Twins, Mike McCormick for Washington. And I went into the season thinking, man, this Washington team's going to be terrible. But they've got some good starting pitchers on this team. They really do. So that's going to do it for me. Thanks once again, everybody. Join me at 4 Pacific time. We'll play the second game of the doubleheader, and that will also wind up week 3, which that's one reason I kind of want to get it in, because I'll be visiting my mom and sister tomorrow. There won't be a game tomorrow. But that way I'll have time to update these 2 games, get the stats updated. And I can do another stats update broadcast before we begin week 4. So that's the plan. I'm going to go with that. In the meantime, everybody have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all later. Take care, guys.